Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Small Business Management at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Chapter 4 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our next set of activities for Chapters 5 and 6. Alright, so like I said, first I did finish grading the Chapter 4 activities this morning. If you haven't already gone in and looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the Chapter 4 assignment, and I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort in. So keep up the good work on that. There were a couple of you that didn't really put enough time and effort into the assignment, and just remember that the assignments for this particular course are, a lot of the questions are directly related to the business plan project that you're going to be working on this semester. So, for example, in this particular Chapter 4 assignment, you were creating a particular portion of the business plan. And so just kind of keep that in mind. The more work you put in now on your assignments, the less work you're going to have to do later on the business plan. Because if you put the time and effort in up front, then you're going to have a lot of that done already as far as the business plan project goes later on. So, and most of you are doing fine with that, but there are a couple of you that probably need to put a little bit more thought and a little bit more time and effort into especially the questions that have you actually create a part of the business plan. Okay. Like I said, overall, most of you are doing well, so keep up the good work on that. There was no discussion for Chapter 4. So the only other thing we had was the chapter test for Chapter 4, and most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, I know I always remind you of this, but remember, you can take the chapter test as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that I will be opening up those chapter tests to allow you to use those to review for the midterm and final exam. So you kind of keep that in mind as well. All right. On the semester project, just remember to keep working on that. If you do a little bit each week during the semester, then you have a whole lot less to deal with at the end of the semester when it's due. Don't wait until the week that it's due to get started. Go ahead and be working on it and putting the time and effort in now, just like I explained a little bit ago. But just remember to keep working on that. And I'll try to remind you, but it's your responsibility to kind of continue working on that semester project. Like I said, just let me know if you have any questions as you're working on it. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so that brings us to our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we are on the first part of week 6 of the semester, and we don't have anything due this week because we just had work due late last week, and our next set of activities for chapters 5 and 6 aren't due until Wednesday of next week. So even though there's nothing due this week, you should still be continuing to work on your semester project and also working on the next set of activities for chapters 5 and 6. So chapter 5 is where we're going to learn about something that's very important for any business, especially a small business, and that is the marketing mix and the marketing plan. And a big portion of your semester project, if you've noticed by looking at the instructions for the business plan, a lot of what I'm having you do for the business plan is actually part of the marketing plan portion of the business plan. And so chapter 5 is going to be very important to understand the basic principles of marketing, the 4 P's of marketing, which is the marketing mix, product, price, place, and promotion. And that's one of the first things you're going to learn about in Chapter 5 are the 4 components of the marketing mix. And again, they're sometimes called the 4 P's of marketing, obviously because each of those starts with the letter P. So you're going to learn about those, and then you'll also learn about the marketing plan. You'll learn about how important research is to marketing, to kind of figure out your market and where your business fits into the overall market that's out there for the good or service that you're selling. And so you'll learn about the marketing plan, things like marketing analysis, marketing cost, calculating your marketing break-even point, right? In other words, you need to know as a small business owner or operator, you need to know how much can I spend on marketing and actually have it give me some returns enough to at least pay for the marketing the marketing costs that I'm spending, or incurring. That's Chapter 5, and then Chapter 6 will kind of take what you've learned about the basics of marketing and expand on that. Specifically, Chapter 6 is where you'll learn about smart selling. And so you'll learn about smart selling and effective customer service. So specifically, you're going to learn about the principles of selling, the sales call process, creating a sales force, which is all the human resources that you need to sell your good or service, the importance of returning customers. And that's one of the things that's very critical in a small business is, or really any business, but especially a small business, is the idea that it's much more cost effective to keep current customers coming back. In other words, keep customers returning to your business rather than having to spend on additional marketing to get new customers. So the best experience that you can give your customers, the better, because it's going to be more likely that they're going to come back to you for their needs. And so that's part of what you're going to be learning about in Chapter 6. And then at the very end of Chapter 6, it's going to discuss something that's very critical in businesses today, especially something called customer relationship management systems. There are computer systems and online systems that you can use to reach your customers better, to have research that's kind of automatically tells you how effective your marketing has been, and be able to reach out to your customers on a one-on-one basis more effectively. So that's Chapters 5 and 6. So be working on those chapters. Again, you've got the assignment, test, and discussion all due by Wednesday of next week. So you've got a little over a week to be working on those. But go ahead and get started as soon as you can, and let me know if you have any questions, like I said. And so I don't have anything else for you for today. So have a good week, and I will talk to you again sometime, probably towards the end of next week. Thank you.